G'day everyone, and g'day Suzy Jacobs.
Hello, John.
Thanks for weathering the storm with us in Sydney today. I must say we had the wettest, windiest networking in nature session that we've ever seen in the 4 years that we've been doing it down here in the Botanic Gardens. But we still had a beautiful crew of people show up, which we're very grateful and thankful for. And we still had a lovely walk and a chance to reflect and connect, and that was today led by you, Suzy. So I just want to thank you so much, and thought it'd be a good chance for us to catch up, have a quick debrief, and share some of those messages, because I think the way that you help people actually put a bit more of a process and a system around how they view choices and decision making was very, very helpful indeed. And if you wouldn't mind just giving a quick recap, and if there's any reflections that you think people could take away from this message, feel free to include that.
Thanks, John. Everyone was extraordinary, and it was a great walk through the park. So we were talking about the science of choice, and often when we think about choices, we think about our reasons or our excuses. We talk about indecision and remorse and regrets and second guessing. And when we've got a big decision to make, we often go and speak to the people who we really know, love and trust in our lives. But that can actually add to the confusion, because then you're not only taking on their opinion, but your opinion, and then 3 or 4 others. So what we did today was take one choice, and it didn't matter whether it was a choice that somebody was going to explore from the past or one that they were about to make, and ask them to take whatever they know about choices, put it to one side, and explore the world of choice through a very logical methodology which uses philosophy and neuroscience and emotional literacy to unpack your choices and take you really from confusion to clarity. And what we were able to do today was interesting. We looked at 3 elements. So when we think about choice, people will often say, yes, I am free to choose. You know, they understand that they're free to choose. But what they discovered is how they're not free to choose. And the first indicator is in language. So if you start listening to your brain chatter and tell the truth about it, how much of that choice, what surrounds that choice is, I can't, I should, I have to, I need to, it's the right thing, that kind of thing, yeah? So they started off there, and we got some great conversations going on, some great truth telling. Then we moved to judgment, and this idea that we all like to think that we're very accepting, very open people, right? And we are, that's what we try to be. But the human brain has been designed to judge. It's a filtering system. So to then turn around and go, no, I don't judge people, is untrue. I call bullshit. We all judge. And if we start from the place of accepting that we judge, and that's part of what we do, the problem lies with the fact that we think our judgment is true. So if you think you're right about your judgment, that that's not good enough, or that I should do this, or you should make that decision, it's skewing your freedom to choose. So we've got language and we've got judgment, which both are impacting your freedom to choose. And then the last one was around feelings, and we only really got to touch on that for a moment, but we asked a really simple question, which is, what do you know, or what were you taught about feelings? Like, what was your education? And there was silence. Most people said we were taught not to feel. It was like, no, John, don't be angry. Don't be sad. Don't be too boisterous. So then we have all these feelings, and we will always have a feeling that's associated with a choice. The problem is we think that feeling is a fact, but it's actually a feeling. And a feeling is a chemical reaction that lasts for 90 seconds and then it's discharged. However, because we've not been taught how to process a feeling, it gets stuck and it's stagnated, and then we think it's the truth, like, oh, guilt, or I don't know, let's use guilt. So I couldn't possibly do that. I feel too guilty. You go, guilty is a feeling. It needs to be processed independently to give you some freedom around your choice. So that's where we got to. We had some great storytelling.
So interesting, because we also kicked it off by just inviting everyone to share some of the big choices they'd made in the last 12 months.
Oh yeah.
And right across the board, the last 12 months has been a big shake-up and some big decisions made by almost everyone. So it was really interesting just to have this opportunity to step back from that and to reflect on it.
Yeah. So
it was
people were
really
talking
good.
about relationships. That's the thing about choice. It doesn't discriminate between personal and professional. It's the same process you can apply across all of life. So we had some people talking about relationships. Some people needing to make a decision about whether they stay with a job or open a business. Other people talking about going back to university, getting accreditation. Should I or shouldn't I? We're looking for the right choice, right? Which is part of the problem. There's a judgment about the right choice. There is no right choice, there's only
So,
right choice.
Suzy, how can people go deeper with this and learn more about that science of choice and the sorts of things you were talking about today?
Come visit me. SuzyJacobs.com is probably the easiest place. I mean, I also come to these events whenever I can, but Suzy Jacobs, SUZY, Jacobs, JACOBS.com. That's a great starting point. There are some free tools and downloads there. And then, if I did a good enough job, you might invite me back again.
Well, if you ask very nicely. No.
I might.
If you bring the sunshine next time.
Yeah.
But-
I just thought we'd try something different. I chose for it to be.
Look, part of this is stretching the comfort zone within limits, and I think we did that today. And,
Yeah, definitely.
I was very impressed. A lot of newcomers showed up as well. So thank you, everyone, and we'll be back with more networking in nature next month.